patience can have what he will. And I agree with this quote in the sense that if you take your time and wait for something good will come out of it. Have you ever been stuck in traffic and you notice that the right lane was a little bit faster than the one you're in? So you switch lanes and then you all of a sudden just stopped in traffic and you were just better off in the other lane. This happens to many of us, and I know it happens to me all the time. It's because, well, when we aren't patient and we think that something is, if we had just waited in that one lane, we would have been a lot better off. I'm going to talk to you about how patience is something we learned since we were little, and it's like a basic understanding. We all have had our parents and our teachers tell us to be patient. It's something that we've learned. How it may be challenging, and if we just stick through it, it leads to success. The first thing I want to share is when we were little, we heard the story of the tortoise and the hare, and how the saying in that is slow and steady wins the race. With that, if you take your time and not give up, you will end up on top. That's pretty much what it is saying. When I was 7, I fell off my scooter down a hill and scraped my arms. And my brother did the same thing. And so we both had big gaps on our elbows. And what happened to me was I kept picking on my scabs, and it never healed. It took maybe 6 months before it fully healed. And my brother, who was patient, didn't do anything and just let it heal on its own. His healed in 2 months or two weeks. And if I didn't pick my scabs, it would have healed probably at the same time as his. Another thing that painters inspire me. Okay, painters, because I paint, and I have looked at Renaissance painters' works and how they use oil paints, and how oil paints dry very slowly, and you need to apply layers and layers in order for the painting to really work. And what Renaissance painters did was they would work on their paintings for years, and they would take a painting out, work on it, and then put it away for it to dry, and then the next year come back to it and paint over it again. And these are the kinds of works that are in museums now, and they're considered masterpieces. And I personally don't have the patience to work on something for years and years, but maybe taking the idea of it, I probably will start doing that. And overall, I hope that you'll see that being patient is rewarding in the end. Like Benjamin Franklin said, he that can have patience can have what he wants.
All right. Let me tell you something that seems a little bit odd. It feels a lot like you've done an impromptu speech as a prepared speech. You know, you kind of have a quote that you're focusing on, a theme that comes from that particular quote. You've organized it very much the way that you would organize an impromptu presentation. There isn't any research involved in your presentation except for some vague references to some examples, which, by the way, I like the examples. I thought that they were pretty good, but we didn't get any source citations on them. It doesn't sound like it came from anything other than your general knowledge of the subject. And so when it comes to preparation, it feels underdeveloped as a prepared speech. Like I said, if it was an impromptu speech, it's really solid because, you know, talking off the top of your head, you've got a couple of good examples here. The problem is that it's not, you know, they're not really the same assignment. On the presentation issues, I thought that you stood pretty confidently facing the audience, but that your eye contact was inconsistent because I got the impression that you're looking out towards us and frequently looking over us and through us as opposed to engaging people. It's a little bit hard sometimes to catch that on video to see what I'm talking about, but if you get a chance to look at it, you might see a bit about what I'm talking about. Maybe the angle of the camera will adjust that a little bit more, but it really felt like you were just kind of in front of us speaking as opposed to trying to connect with the audience while you were speaking to them. The places that your anxiety comes out are primarily in your arms and gestures and in pacing issues. There's hesitation in a few places. There's one long, awkward pause that came up. At the very beginning, you've got your elbows up and your hands up. You look a little bit like you're about to do kind of a recital of a poem. You've got your arms way up like this and your hands like this, and you're holding on to each like that, and you look sort of like you're all building up all this tension. Now, you got better during the speech, and you looked a lot more relaxed later on. And then, in fact, I thought that you did a nice job with some of your descriptive gestures. I think everybody got a little itchy thinking about those scabs on your arms as they were sitting there going, yeah, I know exactly what she's talking about, wanted to pick at the scabs, that kind of thing. So you do a little bit of recovery on that. It just seemed like at the beginning that's where the anxiety was. All right, thank you.